My daughter was waving at me with a big smile on her face when the train was leaving. It's been about 2 months since she has last seen my husband. She must be really looking forward to visit him. I sent a message to my husband just as my daughter got on the train. And then, I guess about 4 hours after I got home, my daughter called me. I had told her to call me when she arrived. I assumed it was that report. Hello, Sarah. Did you make it to San Francisco and meet up with your father? When I asked her that, she said something I didn't expect in an unhappy voice. Mom, come and pick me up, please. What? Is something wrong? I didn't get to meet Dad. What do you mean? I don't know, but I haven't heard from him. And when I went to his house, some strange woman turned me away. What? My name is Lily. I have a family of 3 with my husband, Robert, and our 11-year-old daughter, Sarah. I conceived my husband's child while I was still in college, so I'm 32 years old now. After the baby was born, I managed to finish college with the support of my parents. Since then, I have been a housewife. Because of the unexpected pregnancy and premature marriage, there was a confusion and concern from those around us, and we had a hard time. My husband told me that he had always planned to marry me and that it was just a matter of time before we got married. After graduating from college, my husband got a job at a well-known company. It was a good starting salary and we could live in a company housing. So we didn't have to struggle financially and lived happily together. We didn't have a honeymoon phase as a married couple, but our daughter was so pretty that we didn't care about it. My husband adored our daughter and always took care of her on weekends. Thanks to him, I was able to relax and go out with my friends. I didn't have to put up with getting dressed up or anything like that. I had no complaints about this life. The days passed by in the blink of an eye, and my daughter went on to elementary school. By that time, my husband had been working for the same company for about 7 years and had been promoted. He had more responsibility and came home later and later. But on weekends, we went on family road trips and made many memories. We spent many happy days like this. I thought that these happy times would continue for a long time. But one day, while I was leading such a life, the company decided on my husband's transfer. No matter how much we say he has a family, our daughter is already 11 years old. Until now, he had refused to move on his own due to a transfer because my daughter was still very young. But that could no longer be a reason. Moreover, it seems to be a very important job for him this time. I was told that his career depended on it. The company my husband works for is a big company, so there are plenty of replacements for him. In order for my husband to be promoted further in the future, this relocation is unavoidable. My daughter will be going on to junior high school and high school. Of course, I want her to go to college, and the tuition and other expenses will come with that. So I had to admit his transfer this time. And I hope that it would help him get ahead in his career. I was told that the assignment would be for about 6 months. Well, 6 months is alright, I thought. However, my daughter loved my husband very much, so she was a little worried about being away from her father. My husband told her he would call her every day, and he reassured her that he would try not to make her feel lonely and that she could meet up with him on the weekends and go out with him. This is a husband who cares about his family. Even if he moves out on his own, he will make time for our daughter. She said, "Okay. I'll be sad that I won't be able to see Daddy as much as I'd like, but I'll put up with it. My daughter and I saw him off with smiles on our faces. After about 3 days, my husband called me on video phone and spent a lot of time talking with my daughter. He called before my daughter even missed him. I laughed and wondered which one of them was the child. But it's so heartwarming to see my husband and daughter talking on the phone. I really felt that my husband and my daughter are getting along well with each other. On the first weekend, he was too busy to go out. But the next week, my husband made time and came home on a Friday. I'm so grateful to my husband for making time for our family in the middle of his hard work. My daughter was very happy to have dinner with her father for the first time in a long time. However, about 2 months after my husband's new life started, his behavior began to change. He used to call his daughter once every 3 days for a video phone call. But the frequency of these calls became less and less, and he stopped calling altogether. Of course, I knew that he's busy with his work. And he lives alone and has to do all the house chores. I'm sure that once he gets used to the new workplace, he'll have more chances to go out for drinks with his colleagues too. I shouldn't put too much pressure on him by urging him to get in touch with us. With this in mind, I didn't force him to contact me. However, my husband rarely contacted me anymore. Eventually, he came back here less and less often. I explained to my daughter that her father was busy with work, but I could see that she was grieving, even if she didn't say it out loud. This was not a good situation. And although I knew he was busy with work, I asked my husband a favor of calling her, even if it's just for 5 minutes. Our daughter always seems to be somewhat lonely at home. My husband apologized. Oh, I'm sorry. But he didn't call Sarah. Soon it will be her birthday. It's this coming Saturday. Maybe he will come home to surprise us. That's what I was hoping for. She also said, maybe Daddy will come home? But on the day of her birthday, my husband didn't come home. And he didn't even call her to wish her happy birthday. This time, my daughter was very disappointed. I was so mad that I called my husband several times and left messages. Lately, when I call him, he doesn't pick up right away. And he never returns my calls, so I called him several times this time. After about the 5th call, my husband finally picked up the phone. What's wrong? You've been calling me a lot, haven't you? What are you doing? What? It was Sarah's birthday today. It's Saturday and you don't come home. You didn't even call to wish her happy birthday. Oh, I'm sorry. I'm really sorry about that. Sarah hadn't seen her dad in a long time. She was expecting to see you for the first time in a long time for her birthday. Tell her I'm really sorry and that I wish her a happy birthday. No matter what I said, he just apologized. I gave up and hung up the phone. As I hung up the phone, my anger flared up again. Please think about your daughter and take better care of her. You may be busy, but I still think you are too disrespectful. I sent him a message saying that. But all I got from my husband was, I understand. I'm sorry. After that, there was no improvement. Then another month passed and my daughter went on summer vacation. A little while ago, she told me that if her father couldn't come, she would go and meet him. She has been saying this every day since the summer vacation started. I decided to take this opportunity and let her go to my husband's house alone. She wanted to experience something new, and she was very enthusiastic about it. We live in Los Angeles, and my husband currently lives in San Francisco. She can get there by just getting on the train. I will drive her to the station. I called my husband to pick her up at the other station. My husband agreed to the plan. Now my daughter can finally see her father for the first time in a long time. On Saturday, I saw her off and went home. She waved at me with a big smile on her face as the train was leaving. It's been 2 months since she saw her father the last time, so she must be really looking forward to it. I sent a message to my husband just as my daughter got on the train. And then, about 4 hours after I got home, I got a call from my daughter. It was about noon, and my daughter got on the train early in the morning. She must have already met up with my husband and had lunch before calling me. I had told my daughter to call me when she arrived over there. I assumed she was calling to let me know that. Hello, Sarah? Did you make it to San Francisco and meet up with your father? When I asked her that, she made an unexpected comment in an unhappy voice. Mom, pick me up right now, please. What? What's wrong? I didn't see Daddy. What do you mean? I don't know, but I haven't heard from him. And when I went to his house, some strange woman turned me away. What? What did she just say? No, first of all, I have to pick up my daughter as soon as possible. Where are you? I'm back at San Francisco Station. Then, going to a fast food restaurant somewhere and kill some time. So I got into the car and headed for the station. There I hurriedly bought a ticket and got on the train to San Francisco. When I finally arrived, my daughter looked at me and was about to cry. We went to a cafe near the station. She was depressed, so I ordered pancakes, which are famous in this area. When the pancakes came out, my daughter's face lit up a little. She seemed to enjoy the pancakes and looked a little calmer. Then I asked her what happened. According to her story, she couldn't get in touch with my husband at all when she arrived at the San Francisco station. She waited for about 30 minutes and he didn't show up. So she decided to take a drastic action to go to his home by herself. Well, I had given her my husband's home address in case something happened. She's a Gen Z girl who uses her smartphone more than I do, so she was able to find her way there in no time with a map. She got on the train and went to my husband's house. And when she rang the doorbell, a woman's voice answered. Who are you? My daughter was surprised, but she managed to say, I'm here to see my dad. That woman told my daughter to go home and not to see Daddy because she's in the way. In the end, the woman hung up without even opening the door of the apartment. So my daughter went back to San Francisco Station. I was so angry that I couldn't help myself anymore. If she told you not to see your daddy, then let's do that. I said that, took my daughter home, and immediately started preparing to move out. When I explained the situation to my parents, they were furious. They said they would do whatever they could do to help. For the time being, my parents let us temporarily live with them until I found a job. My husband called me and said, I didn't see Sarah at the station. Did something happen? I guess his adulterous woman didn't tell my husband that she turned his daughter away. No, because there was no word from my husband on my daughter's phone when I went to pick her up. I doubt my husband even went to the station. I was dumbfounded and decided to let it slide anyway. Sarah got sick on the way there and had to turn around. I replied that I had just finished at the hospital and that I was sorry I couldn't call him. My husband replied, I see. I understand. I ended the exchange by replying that I would call again if anything else happened. I was pissed off because it was so obvious that he was just pretending to be worried about me. Well, this guy is going to hell, so I'll leave him alone for now. After that, I was ready to punish my husband. I first sent his belongings to his address. Then I received the results of the investigation I had ordered from the detective agency a while ago. I sent the proof of the affair along with a content certified letter to my husband's workplace. A few days later, everything must have arrived. My husband called me like a demon. Oh, hey, what are you doing? Huh? What? I just thought I'll let you all know what you've been up to. You gotta be kidding me. We're in the middle of a big problem here. Of course it is. That's what I was trying to do. And I can't believe you're sending me my belongings to here. I don't need your stuff, and I don't pay rent anymore. What? Sarah and I moved out of that apartment. Oh, you left that rental apartment? When did you leave? About a month ago. What? Then no one lived there for a month, and we still had to pay the rent. Well, that's true, but it's in your name, so it's none of my business. No. You're about to be 2 months behind on your rent, and you're about to get evicted. Is that why I've been getting calls from an unknown number lately? I mean, we'll be in trouble if we lose that apartment. Why don't you just continue to live in San Francisco? You sent a content certified letter to the company. I'm in big trouble because they found out about my affair. They're going to call a replacement from headquarters right now and move me back to Los Angeles. So if you send me all this stuff, it would be hard for me to go back to Los Angeles. And it's even worse that I don't have a home there. I almost laughed because the plan worked better than I thought it would. But then I calmed my happy mood and said, You've hurt Sarah and me so much that you're going to have to pay the price. And it's not over yet. I'm going to demand a divorce, and I'm going to demand alimony and child support. Oh, no. Let's just go through the lawyers and get this over with. I said that and hung up the phone. After that, I hired a lawyer and everything proceeded as I had declared. The divorce was finalized without incident and alimony was claimed against my ex-husband and the adulterer. I also asked for the child support from my ex-husband. My ex-husband had the unprecedented incident of returning from a transfer because of the affair. He became the target of laughter within the company. Female employees gave him a mean look. Of course, he can no longer expect to get promoted in the company. But he can't quit because he has to pay alimony and child support. He must feel ashamed of himself. My daughter has become disillusioned with my husband, and when he apologized and said he wanted to see her, she refused to see him. He really deserves it. I was able to find a job, and my daughter and I now live together happily in an apartment. I'm going to work hard to support her and watch her grow up.